our next game, and this is going to be the Broncos 0-2, Dolphins 2-0. And it's funny because I know a lot of people who try to predict the schedule probably said this would be a 2-0, 2-0 matchup coming into this week, or possibly in reverse, where it would be a 2-0 Broncos team going against an 0-2 Dolphins team. Because the Dolphins had two really tough games to start the season off. The Broncos had two very winnable games to start the season off. And that's where I'm having a little bit of does it really even matter that Sean Payton's the coach of the Broncos? Because none of this has changed yet. You know, because they said that when he came in, it would be an absolute 180 from what they were last year, and you know they'll be a better team, and blah 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 blah. And Russ will be benefit from having a Super Bowl winning coach. Blah 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 blah. But I think though we need to understand the writing is on the wall. Russell Wilson as a primetime elite quarterback, those days are done. Those are over with. You just get it over. You just get it out your head. He was a guy that it took a long time for him to get his big dollars. And the moment he has his big dollars, he's comfortable because he's won a Super Bowl before. He's been in a Pro Bowl before. He's done all of that good stuff. So pretty much now he's just enjoying playing the game of football. And you can't have a guy play for somebody like the Denver Broncos just enjoying the game of football. You have to have a guy that's a full-fledged winner. And I feel like Russell Wilson really does have to start showing that he's worth the trouble and worth all the investment that the Broncos did make. You know, the new ownership group looks at this guy as the leader of the new era of the Broncos. You know, this is a team without Pat Bowlen. Now, Pat Bowlen was one of the better owners in all of sports, and they had to live up to a certain standard. And we know that the Broncos are not a team that is used to being bad at all. You know, they'll take a year or two off, but they're not going to be off for 5, 6, 7 years or be like the Browns or the Raiders and just take a decade break. Nah, that team doesn't operate like this. So I know that this is a must-win situation for them. Dolphins, though, on the other hand, Jeff, Dolphins are an absolute dream right now. If you're a Dolphins fan, you are just in hog heaven about this. This is like a Madden type situation for you. You got a quarterback that's playing the best quarter is playing the best in the NFL. Yeah, I said it. Tua is probably the best quarterback right now in the NFL, the way that he's going about his business. Also, you have probably the best wide receiver core in the NFL, if not the best, the fastest. And then you have Mozart, who's another track star as well, too. Literally, these guys can go just run the 4-4 at the Paris Olympics for all they care. And this team is special, and they have the special look. But are they disciplined? That's the biggest question that I have for this team moving forward. Is this defense going to be able to stay intact? And they have a lot of pressure coming into their first home game of the season as well, too, Jeff. So what I'm going to do here is I know a lot of people are going to be all in love with Miami, and they're showing us the line that Miami should have this game sold up, walk in the park. But one thing is this. Denver always plays well in Miami. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. This could be the beginning of, you know, the turnaround for the Broncos if they want it to be. But this is a must-win situation. I'm not taking them to win, Jeff, but I am going to take them to cover the spread. I'm taking them with the plus 6.5. And I think the number is telling me right now that the Broncos should cover this game and possibly win this game as well, too, by a late field goal.
My true numbers were 7 and 47. So right away, Vegas is telling me 27-20. What's alarming? Denver, opening week, losing to the Raiders. Then I saw the opening number against Washington, and it was 3. It smelt like the holy heaven. And at 21-3, I was like, man, I'm glad I left Washington on the desk. Well, in comes Sam Howell or Joe Theismann and the Hogs and John Riggins and you name it, and the fun bunch, and they just shocked the world. At the end of this year, it won't be Sean Payton. It will be Russell Wilson. That will be the problem. Now, I don't know what the contract looks like, but they'll probably go shopping for a young rookie quarterback in the draft. Uh, Miami, two amazing games, one in the Chargers, and again, they hold on in New England. Uh, Back home opener, you would think duck boats and parades. This is a walk in the park. I too think uh, they'll find a way. They cannot get into the first 1-30 wins this game mentality. Russ just can't do it anymore. You talked about Mozart. Holy cow. I had him in a couple spots. Thank you, Mr. Mozart. Tyreek Hill being Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle in concussion protocol. Keep an eye on that as well. So I too bought the hook this time. Got the Broncos +7. Give me that 27-24 game and get out of Dodge, pups.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I just think that it's going to be one of our better games coming up Sunday, as well too as it was probably going to be advertised. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break, and when we get back,